With the 13th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kenneth Grant, defensive.
The Miami Dolphins gets brutally dumbed by the NFL Draft selections. Here is what truly happened. Click the red subscribe button as you watch. The Miami Dolphins made an unexpected move during the 7th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, selecting quarterback Quinn Ewers from the Texas Longhorns with the 231st overall pick. As of now, Ewers finds himself as the third-string quarterback on the Dolphins' depth chart, trailing behind starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and newly acquired free agent Zach Wilson. While Ewers faces a challenge in proving himself ahead of the upcoming training camp, there is potential for him to rise quickly in Miami's quarterback ranks. Following a difficult junior season in Austin, Ewers chose to skip the transfer portal and declare for the NFL Draft. Although this decision has been met with mixed reactions, it seems to have landed him in a promising situation. The Dolphins don't have an urgent need for a quarterback, but given Tagovailoa's history of injuries, there could be an opportunity for Ewers to step in sooner rather than later. Miami's offense is known for its complexity, but it offers a significant advantage to the quarterback who can master it. The team's scheme is built around precise timing and execution, something that Ewers, with his impressive arm strength, has the potential to excel at. His main areas for improvement include reducing turnovers and maintaining composure when faced with pressure. However, with a strong offensive line in front of him and talented, speedy receivers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Ewers could be well supported and shielded from too much pressure. Zach Wilson's situation in Miami is also pivotal for his career. His tenure with the New York Jets was largely unsuccessful, but it's worth considering the larger context. The Jets have been mired in dysfunction for years, and Wilson, lacking proper support, struggled to show his full potential. After leaving New York, Wilson found himself buried on the Denver Broncos depth chart. Despite positive comments from head coach Sean Payton throughout training camp and the regular season, Wilson didn't get a chance to play, as the Broncos' starting job was locked down by first-round pick Bo Nix. As a result, Wilson did not see any regular season action. Now with the Dolphins, Wilson has signed a one-year contract with hopes of becoming the primary backup to Tagovailoa, whose injury history has made his availability a concern. If Wilson stays healthy and proves capable, he could see some action as a fill-in starter. However, this is a crucial period for Wilson to prove himself in a better offensive environment to regain his NFL value. With the arrival of Ewers, Wilson's opportunity to rehabilitate his career could be at risk once again. Though Ewers was selected in the 7th round, the Dolphins have every reason to invest in his development, especially if they view him as a potential backup to Tagovailoa, or even as his long-term successor. Wilson remains the favorite to take on the QB2 role at the start of the season, but it's not hard to imagine Ewers impressing during training camp and possibly pushing Wilson out of the backup role. Wilson has always had the athleticism and raw talent to succeed, but he needs to show that he can read defenses and manage an NFL offense effectively. The Dolphins system could be a good fit for his skill set, but if Ewers performs well, Wilson could once again find himself either sitting on the bench or looking for another team. This could be a defining moment in Wilson's career, with his future in Miami uncertain. The Miami Dolphins, a team that has long been in search of consistent success, are no strangers to the bitter disappointment of the NFL Draft. Every year, fans hope their team will use the draft as an opportunity to rebuild and revitalize the franchise, only to face familiar feelings of frustration as their selections fall flat. The Dolphins' draft history is a tale of missed opportunities, poor decisions, and underwhelming results, leaving a legacy of unmet expectations and growing disillusionment among their fan base. The NFL Draft is presented as the ultimate chance for struggling teams to improve and retool for the future. For teams like the Dolphins, it symbolizes a fresh start, a chance to find the next generation of stars who can bring the team back to glory. Yet, for Miami, the draft has turned into an annual exercise in disappointment, as they repeatedly fail to make the most of their picks, often leaving fans feeling let down by what could have been. Miami's history with the NFL Draft is littered with regrettable selections, leaving fans bewildered by the choices the team has made. One such notorious mistake came in the 2007 draft, when the Dolphins selected wide receiver Ted Ginn Jr. at the 9th overall pick. While Jin had speed and athleticism, he never lived up to the expectations of a top 10 pick. Miami passed on players who would go on to become future legends, such as Patrick Willis and Darrelle Revis, making this a draft blunder that haunted the franchise for years. Another major misstep occurred in 2013 when the Dolphins selected defensive end Dion Jordan with the 3rd overall pick. Jordan's time in Miami was marked by injuries, poor performances, and off-field issues, leading to one of the worst draft choices in team history. Meanwhile, other players like DeAndre Hopkins, Le'Veon Bell, and Travis Kelce, who were taken later, would go on to have spectacular careers, making Miami's selection even more difficult to stomach. In more recent drafts, the Dolphins' selections have also been met with skepticism. The 2020 pick of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa at number 5 initially seemed reasonable, but injuries and inconsistent play have made it harder for fans to see him as the team's long-term answer. Meanwhile, quarterbacks like Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, who were drafted later, have excelled in their early careers, casting doubt on Miami's choice. What makes the Dolphins' draft struggles even more disheartening is the fact that the team has often found itself in prime draft positions. With high picks over the years, they have had numerous opportunities to secure key players, yet time and time again, they have come up short. Whether by drafting the wrong players, neglecting critical needs, or missing out on future stars, the Dolphins seem stuck in a cycle of poor decision-making that prevents them from making meaningful progress. Even when the Dolphins do manage to select promising players, they often fail to develop them properly. For instance, linebacker Raekwon Smith, a standout at Florida State, was expected to make a significant impact when drafted by Miami in 2019. However, due to injuries and lackluster performances, Smith has never reached his full potential with the team. This is a common theme for Miami, where talented players frequently struggle to make an impact, often due to poor development or a lack of proper coaching. Why does this pattern keep repeating? There are several reasons for Miami's repeated draft failures, but at its core, it stems from poor leadership and inconsistent decision-making. Over the years, the Dolphins have experienced instability in their front office and coaching staff, with many different general managers and head coaches coming and going. This lack of continuity has led to shifting priorities and a lack of long-term vision, making it difficult for the team to build a successful roster through the draft.